Welcome back, Internet. Keeney coming to you with what I hope is going to be a case study today. The world has brought to us the 2015 Ford F150 with the 5-liter flex fuel engine on it, whatever. The story went, the engine is a no crank. It got brought in on the hook and it sat outside. We tried to start it when it showed up, I don't know, 2.5 weeks or so ago. It's been sitting on a lot waiting for me to get to it. And today I went to pull it inside or winch it inside and it fired right up. No issues. All right, well, that's cool. So brought it in here, shut it off, try to start it again. It started again. So we don't have an issue on her right now. Did a pre-check on it. She's actually in really good shape. She's got like 230 on the clock and in pretty good shape overall. What I know about it is history. Actually, when I dropped it off on the hook, I watched the tow truck driver try and start it, and the cluster would ding and light up and like kind of not drop out, but like the display would go blank as if it were trying to crank normally for power conservation, if I recall correctly. But there was no starter motor engagement. That was the problem. When they dropped it off, I watched it with my own two eyeballs, and so I know that the problem was there at some point in time, well, at least when it got dropped off. History on it: approximately 1 week prior to getting here, the door locks would cycle unlock to lock 2 to 3 times after shutting the vehicle off and exiting the vehicle and locking the doors at the fob. So drove it, parked it, shut it off, closed the door, hit the lock button on the key fob, and with a single lock press on the key fob, the door lock cycled 2 or 3 times, lock and unlock. And then 2 days prior or so to it getting here, the vehicle started after an overnight soak, and when they began driving, the door lock cycled for almost 5 minutes. So as they're cruising along, these things are just popping along, unlocking and locking. And then, let's see, after that, everything returned to normal. Today, the vehicle became a no crank, the battery is disconnected, ignition was cycled 10 times, but the issue is still present. And actually, I think there's a lot more symptoms that let me go and check my computer version instead of the print off version and see if there are more symptoms there. It's actually a little funny. I'm not as crazy as I thought it was. There's no new notes on the computer, but I have a second F-150 out on the lot, and their issue had their door locks would cycle, but their door locks cycle every time the vehicle takes off. It's got like the auto lock where you start it up and start driving at 5 mile an hour, whatever, locks the doors. They said every time you stop, like a stop sign, stoplight, or whatever, and you drive off, the door locks to try and lock on them. It's got other issues, but not this truck. So what I said here is good. It was a crank no start with some weird door lock cycling stuff, and right now it is not broken. And they were just trying to reset it with a battery disconnect and such. There were also no warning indicators or anything like that when I brought it in today, and so we will start it up, get a code scan on it, see if there's anything in memory. Hopefully there is, to give us some idea. I also have not test driven this car yet, so we will hopefully find some codes in there, maybe instrument it before we take it out for a test drive, and then try to get this thing to break. So let's go ahead and plug on in and get on after it. Well, we don't have a whole lot to go off of. There's modules, our list view. Engine starter performance is the only code in the engine computer. Some battery voltage codes, though the battery looks new. I got the charger on it right now. We're sitting at a little bit of glare, 12.5. So battery voltage, steering wheel, right switch pack, and control module configuration incompatible, which is kind of weird. But that is the extent of all the codes that we have in this thing, which is interesting. And so with this, I reckon, man, it's weird to have the door lock thing going on and then this right after. So I'm curious what the door locks and what the starter motor may have in common. I suppose we will save this, clear it, rescan it. and then look at service info for this 06E9, and maybe if this thing's got a starter relay, instrument, or scope on there, and see what it looks like. But that is kind of odd, so that's what I guess we'll do next. Go ahead and jumped in the car, rescanned it again. We have no codes anywhere. And I gave it a minute before I rescanned it after I cleared it. But here's our thing. So push brake and pedal. Engine starts. Let's go ahead and fault scan it one more time. Thing scans super quick. And no codes. So we have absolutely nothing to go off of. Let's just go find service information, figure out how this starter circuit works, and maybe instrument. Well, here's our basic diagram. It's about as straightforward as you can get. Battery, big fat cable to starter motor, skinny wire, comes up to the battery junction box from the relay and a fuse 59. Obviously, that fuse should be good, unless it's cracked like that one we had, but that should be good. And so at this point, we might just take it for a test drive and get it hot, see if it still starts. If it does, I'll probably just throw a new one of those in there, take the wires off here, clean it, and see what that does. At the end of the day, if it's not broken, I can't fix it, and that kind of sucks for sure. So it's like, what's most probable? The circuit, the description and operation of the code, I'm going to show you here in a second, doesn't really tell us how it sets. It just says like start checking starter stuff based on what your symptom is. So it like tells you to go to a pinpoint chart, and a pinpoint chart has questions like, is it a crank no start? Is it no crank? Is it spinning not engage? And stuff like that. So that's kind of less than helpful. I don't know what this has to do with the door locks. I'm looking at door locks too to see if maybe they're controlled by the body computer, maybe the body, or no. No, it says the starter relays in the battery junction box, right rear of engine compartment, so I doubt that should have anything to do with our body computer. I was thinking if the starter relays in the body computer, then maybe we got some water down there, but yeah, I'll check a couple more things, make sure I'm not missing something in service info. We'll see where the door locks. I don't see anything in the door locks tying into this, but it's probably what we're gonna do. We're probably just gonna do a couple checks and service info. We'll go for a test drive, put a new relay in, clean starter terminals, and then see what the client wants to do at that point. So here's pretty much what we got. We got an 06E9. It says if the engine cranks, go here. If it does not crank, go there. Well, it does in the moment. And if we go to the first one, it's like refer to description. That's helpful. And then here we've got symptom charts. It's like, what does it do? Go to these different things. It's just having you check starter stuff, which is pretty straightforward. And then if you want to check the starter stuff, it has you install your own jumper, or they call it a remote start something or other. So you're manually engaging the starter. But that's pretty much it. It's like, what's your symptom, and go from there, which we don't have a symptom. Even if we do go down the push button and does not start, basically it's having you check scan tool data to make sure you're getting communication, not in theft mode and all this stuff. And if it's getting communication everywhere, then it has you start checking literally the relay and whatnot. Yeah, and so that's right where we're going to be anyway. We may actually, because it's already on the rack, I may just pull this fuse or this relay out. We'll go pull the relay out, see if it's got corrosion or something on it, and then we'll just clean the starter terminals and such, and see what happens. Well, I ain't really sure which way this camera's facing. It's been flipped around all kinds of crazy areas and such. According to this, our starter relay is our one on the right-hand side. Looks like there's big fat fuses up there. So looks like first elongated one. And we got big fat fuses up there. First elongated one. Looks like that one right there. So let's go ahead and yoink that dude out of there and see what she looks like. See if we can do it without breaking her. Key is off. All in all, I do not see anything wrong with that. That is a goofy looking fifth pin though. I'll give you that. Oops, you can't see. It's a goofy looking fifth pin. It's like it's wider in the middle on that 3-leg side. It's kind of interesting. But I don't see any corrosion or anything like that. So I guess at this point, let's go underneath the truck and we will clean up the starter connections. The starter underneath does look a little corroded. Like I said, it's got like 230 on the clock. So let's just go clean those up. All right, here's what we were looking at. This thing's got a bunch of wires going to it. Looks like our big fat red wire, our solenoid wire. This also thing has a giant ground wire on it. But I don't know how well, yeah, you can kind of see it. It's kind of crusty and whatnot. I think we're going to pull all that stuff off, clean it, and put it back together. Well, here's our before. There's a little some crustiness on the bolts and such. A little bit of dirt. I don't see anything super obvious, but let's clean all this stuff up. Just a quick after shot. Front mating surface has been cleaned up. Hardware's been cleaned up. Terminals on the back have been cleaned up. Let's get her back installed. All right, starters put back together. I've actually changed my mind on what we're going to do up here. And looking at all these part numbers, they all say high power and they all have the same part number on all of them. So we're actually going to swap one. I think I'm going to swap it with the power slide and rear open window relay with the starter relay. And if he ever loses his rear window open close function, we know what's up. So I'm going to swap those and see if she still starts. This is as they came out, window and starter. We got the same part number, and we got the same goofy middle third pin that's bigger than the rest, so we will swap those out. All right, moment of truth, we'll just key on, and we will do a code scan. Apparently not with that screen, so we'll hit fault scan, see if it doesn't lock anything, and that'll come on. All right, we have no codes. Go ahead and hit the brake pedal and crank. Yep, starting right up. Well, at this point, it's probably just going to be the end of the video. I still got to take it for a test drive. We'll get it warmed up and see if something weird happens after a test drive. If it does, I'll bring you back. If not, man, I don't know what to say. It's intermittent issue. It's the way it goes sometimes. You can tell me what you would have done. It's like I don't want to just keep throwing a whole bunch of time and parts at this, but like what's most probable that we can do in the shortest period of time is what I was after here. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyway, I just hope this is helpful for somebody out there. I don't know if it was or not, but I'll just catch y'all up in the next video.